Let me ask you something. Are you living the life you were meant to live, or are you just getting by, settling for good enough, when you know deep down you were made for more? Listen, transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you take control of your mind, your habits, your environment, your discipline. I'm talking about the kind of shift that lights a fire inside you, that makes you unstoppable. Today, I'm going to give you 10 rules that, if you commit to them, will completely transform your life. But first, you've got to decide. Are you ready? Your mindset is the foundation of everything you achieve in life. It's not just about positive thinking, it's about rewiring the way you see challenges, opportunities, and even failures. Most people go through life with self-imposed limitations, believing they can only achieve what their past or current circumstances dictate. But here's the truth. Your external reality is simply a reflection of your internal beliefs. If you believe you're destined for mediocrity, your actions will align with that belief. But if you believe you are capable of greatness, you will start taking the kind of actions that lead to extraordinary results. The first step in transforming your life is to become acutely aware of the thoughts you entertain daily. Most people have been conditioned by their environment, their upbringing, or past failures to adopt a mindset of doubt, fear, or complacency. They hesitate, overthink, and settle for less than they deserve. If that's been your pattern, you have to break it immediately. The way to do that is by intentionally feeding your mind with empowering beliefs. This means surrounding yourself with inspiration, reading books that expand your thinking, listening to people who have already achieved what you want, and consciously rejecting the thoughts that keep you small. Think about the most successful people in the world. What separates them from everyone else? It's not luck, intelligence, or talent. It's the way they think. They see opportunity where others see obstacles. They view failure as feedback rather than defeat. They understand that their thoughts create their emotions drive their actions, and their actions produce results. It's a cycle that starts with the mind. Change your thoughts, and everything else changes. One of the biggest mindset shifts you can make is replacing a fixed mindset with a growth mindset. A fixed mindset tells you that your abilities, intelligence, and potential are set in stone. It makes you believe that if you're not good at something now, you never will be. But a growth mindset understands that everything can be developed. Your skills, your intelligence, and your capabilities. The most successful people weren't born knowing everything. They became who they are because they committed to constant learning, adapting, and growing. If you adopt that same mindset, nothing will be out of reach for you. Another critical shift is moving from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. A scarcity mindset makes you believe that success is limited, that if someone else wins, it means less for you. It makes you hesitant to take risks, share opportunities, or invest in yourself. But an abundance mindset understands that there is more than enough success, wealth, and opportunity to go around. When you operate from abundance, you no longer see competition, you see collaboration. You become more open to taking chances, betting on yourself, and believing that life is working for you, not against you. Your mindset also dictates how you handle challenges. There will always be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but what matters is how you respond. When faced with difficulty, do you see it as a roadblock or a stepping stone? Do you let it break you, or do you use it as fuel to become stronger? The truth is, every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. The most successful people in the world have all faced failures, rejection, and hardships. What set them apart is that they didn't allow those moments to define them. They used them as lessons to refine them. One of the fastest ways to upgrade your mindset is through daily conditioning. Just like your body gets stronger when you exercise consistently, your mind gets stronger when you feed it with the right thoughts every single day. Start your mornings with empowering affirmations, visualization, and gratitude. Speak to yourself in a way that reinforces your success. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," say, "I'm in the process of mastering this." Instead of saying, "I'm afraid of failure," say, "Every setback is a lesson that brings me closer to success." The words you use shape your reality. Be intentional with them. Another game changer is surrounding yourself with people who challenge and inspire you. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping your mindset. If you constantly spend time with negative, fearful, or complacent people, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with ambitious, driven, and positive individuals, their energy will elevate yours. Seek out mentors, join communities that push you forward, and cut out anything or anyone that keeps you stuck. At the end of the day, your belief system is your operating system. If it's outdated, full of doubt, or wired for mediocrity, it will limit everything you do. But if you intentionally upgrade it, if you install the belief that you are capable of anything, that failure is feedback, and that success is inevitable, you will start to see real transformation. Your life will never exceed your mindset. Upgrade your mind, and you upgrade your entire existence. Most people live their lives waiting for the perfect moment to take action. They tell themselves they need more time, more knowledge, or the right circumstances before they begin. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. The people who achieve incredible results in life are not the ones who wait. They're the ones who take immediate and massive action even when they don't feel ready. Action creates momentum. And momentum is what leads to breakthroughs. Think about a rocket launching into space. The majority of its fuel is used just to break through the atmosphere. Once it reaches a certain point, momentum takes over and it requires far less energy to keep going. The same principle applies to life. The hardest part is getting started. But once you take that first step, no matter how small, you build momentum. And once you have momentum, everything becomes easier. The biggest mistake people make is overthinking. They get caught up in planning, analyzing, and doubting themselves, which leads to paralysis by analysis. They tell themselves they need more information before they start a business, get in shape, or make a big decision. But while they are thinking, someone else is doing. The ones who win are not necessarily the smartest or the most prepared. They are simply the ones who took action. Massive action is not about waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Relying on motivation to take action is like relying on the weather to determine your mood. Instead, you need to develop the discipline to act regardless of how you feel. This means setting a standard for yourself that says, I take action no matter what. One of the keys to taking massive action is speed of implementation. When you learn something new, apply it immediately. If you have an idea, act on it now. The longer you wait, the more doubts will creep in and the less likely you are to follow through. Successful people don't sit on ideas for weeks, months, or years. They execute quickly and adjust along the way. Fear often holds people back from taking action. They fear failure, rejection, or making mistakes. But the only true failure is inaction. Every successful person has failed multiple times before achieving success. The difference is that they used failure as a learning experience rather than a reason to quit. When you take action, you gain real-world feedback. You learn what works, what doesn't, and how to improve. But if you never take action, you never gain the experience needed to grow. Another key component of taking massive action is developing a bias toward execution. This means making doing your default mode. Instead of saying, I'll start tomorrow, say, what can I do right now? Instead of waiting until you feel ready, start before you're ready. Most people spend too much time in their heads, debating whether or not to act. The ones who succeed commit first and figure out the rest later. Taking action also requires persistence. It's not enough to start. You have to keep going even when it gets tough. Most people give up too soon. They try something for a few weeks, don't see immediate results, and quit. But success is a long game. It requires relentless effort, consistency, and a refusal to give up. When you take massive action and keep going no matter what, success becomes inevitable. Another important aspect is measuring and adjusting. Taking action doesn't mean blindly doing the same thing over and over. It means taking intentional action, analyzing the results, and making adjustments along the way. The best performers in any field are constantly refining their approach. They don't just work hard, they work smart. They test different strategies, track their progress, and optimize their actions for maximum impact. Finally, taking massive action requires burning the boats. This means eliminating any option of retreat. Too many people approach their goals with a backup plan, thinking, if this doesn't work out, I'll go back to my old way of life. But when you give yourself an escape route, you subconsciously hold back. When you fully commit, when you decide that failure is not an option, you push yourself beyond your limits. You find solutions where others see obstacles. You make things happen instead of waiting for them to happen. At the end of the day, action is what separates winners from wishers. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't execute, it's worthless. The key is to start now, keep going, and never stop. Because when you take massive action, you create massive results. Discipline is the foundation of success. It is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who merely dream about them. While motivation may get you started, it is discipline that keeps you going. The truth is, you will not always feel like doing what needs to be done. There will be days when you are tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed. But the people who win in life are not the ones who rely on their feelings. They are the ones who take action regardless of how they feel. They understand that discipline is a muscle that must be developed through consistent practice. One of the biggest misconceptions about discipline is that it is restrictive. People think that being disciplined means sacrificing freedom. In reality, discipline creates freedom. When you master discipline, you gain control over your life. You no longer become a slave to procrastination, distractions, or bad habits. Instead of reacting to life, you start directing it. You set goals, create routines, and follow through with commitment. This allows you to achieve more in less time and experience a sense of confidence that most people never develop. Discipline starts with small daily habits. The mistake many people make is thinking that success comes from massive overnight changes. They get excited, set big goals, and try to change everything at once. But when their motivation fades, they go back to their old ways. The key is to start small. Build discipline like you would build muscle. One repetition at a time. Wake up at the same time every day. Exercise even when you don't feel like it. Stick to your commitments no matter how small they seem. These small wins build momentum, and over time they turn into unstoppable habits. One of the most powerful ways to develop discipline is by mastering self-accountability. You must become the type of person who follows through on their word, not just to others, but to yourself. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your confidence and trust in your own ability to succeed. But every time you keep a promise, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who does what they say they will do. This creates a powerful identity shift. Instead of saying, I want to be disciplined, you start saying, I am disciplined. That shift in identity is what leads to lasting transformation. A lack of discipline is often the result of poor time management and distractions. We live in a world filled with endless notifications, social media, and entertainment designed to keep us distracted. If you do not take control of your focus, the world will control it for you. The most successful people understand that discipline requires setting clear priorities. They eliminate distractions, create routines, and structure their days in a way that maximizes productivity. They don't just hope to find time for their goals, they make time. If you struggle with discipline, take a look at how you spend your time. Are you letting distractions steal your focus? Are you allowing small, unimportant tasks to take priority over what truly matters? If so, it's time to take control and create an environment that supports your success. Another crucial element of discipline is learning to delay gratification. Most people sacrifice long-term success for short-term comfort. They choose fast food over healthy meals, entertainment over education, and comfort over challenge. But true success requires the ability to say no to immediate pleasure in exchange for something greater. This doesn't mean you have to give up enjoyment in life. It simply means being mindful of your choices. Every decision you make is either moving you closer to your goals or further away from them. The more you practice self-control, the easier it becomes. One of the best ways to strengthen discipline is to create systems and routines that make success automatic. Willpower is not enough because it fluctuates based on your energy, emotions, and environment. Instead of relying on willpower, set up your life in a way that makes discipline the default. Prepare your meals in advance so you don't have to decide what to eat. Set up a workout schedule so you don't have to think about exercising. Remove distractions from your workspace so you can focus on your goals. The less friction there is between you and the actions you need to take, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. At its core, discipline is a choice. Every day you are faced with decisions that either move you closer to your goals or keep you stuck. The question is, which path will you choose? Will you let your emotions dictate your actions, or will you commit to doing what needs to be done no matter what? The people who achieve greatness are not superhuman. They are simply the ones who chose discipline over excuses, action over hesitation, and long-term success over short-term comfort. If you want to transform your life, commit to mastering discipline, because once you do, anything becomes possible. Failure is not the end. It is a stepping stone. Yet most people fear failure so much that they never even try. They see it as a reflection of their worth, a sign that they are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. But in reality, failure is the greatest teacher you will ever have. Every mistake, every setback, and every loss carries a lesson that can propel you forward if you choose to learn from it. The most successful people in the world are not those who never failed, but those who failed the most and used those failures to grow stronger. The problem is that most people have been conditioned to see failure as something to avoid. From an early age, we are taught that getting things wrong is bad. In school, making mistakes leads to lower grades. In society, failing can lead to embarrassment or criticism. Over time, people develop a fear of failure so strong that they avoid risks altogether. They stick to what is safe, what is known, and what is comfortable. But comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to transform your life, you have to rewire your relationship with failure. You have to stop seeing it as something negative and start seeing it as fuel for success. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before he successfully created the light bulb. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Walt Disney was told he had no creativity. These people did not allow failure to define them. They allowed it to refine them. They took every failure as a lesson, adjusted their approach, and kept going until they succeeded. That is the mindset you must adopt. The key is to analyze failure rather than run from it. When something doesn't go as planned, don't let emotions take over. Instead, step back and ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I learn from this? How can I adjust my approach moving forward? The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who reflect, learn, and improve with every setback. They see failure as feedback. It is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to grow. One of the biggest shifts you can make is understanding that failure is not personal. Just because you failed does not mean you are a failure. Too many people tie their self-worth to their results. When they fail, they internalize it and start believing they are not good enough. But failure is simply a result, not a definition of who you are. The only way you can truly fail is if you give up. If you keep going, then every failure is simply a lesson on the path to success. Another powerful perspective is to expect failure as part of the process. Most people go into new ventures with an all-or-nothing mindset. They think that if they fail, it means they are not meant for success. But in reality, failure is not a possibility, it is a guarantee. No matter what you pursue in life, there will be obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. When you expect failure as part of the journey, it no longer surprises you or discourages you. Instead, you embrace it, knowing that each failure brings you closer to your goal. One of the most dangerous effects of fearing failure is paralysis. So many people have dreams, ideas, and goals, but never take action because they are afraid of getting it wrong. They spend years planning, thinking, and waiting for the perfect moment, but that moment never comes. Meanwhile, someone else with less talent, less experience, and fewer resources takes action, fails, learns, and eventually succeeds. Action is always better than inaction. If you fail, at least you have data to work with. If you do nothing, you have nothing. The secret to transforming failure into fuel is resilience. Resilience is the ability to keep going despite setbacks. It is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who give up too soon. The good news is that resilience is like a muscle. The more you push through failure, the stronger you become. Every time you get back up after a setback, you build mental toughness. You develop the ability to handle challenges without breaking. And the stronger you become, the less failure will affect you. At the end of the day, success is not about avoiding failure. It is about using it. Every great achievement in history was built on a foundation of failures. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The successful keep going, while others stop at the first sign of difficulty. If you want to transform your life, make failure your ally. Learn from it, grow from it, and use it as fuel to push yourself forward. Because the truth is, the only way to truly fail is to never try at all. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset, habits, and overall success in life. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly influenced by the beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors of those around you. If you spend time with people who are negative, complacent, or unmotivated, their mindset will inevitably rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with driven, ambitious, and growth-oriented individuals, they will push you to become the best version of yourself. The key to transforming your life is to be intentional about the people you allow into your inner circle. Energy is contagious. Have you ever noticed how spending time with certain people leaves you feeling inspired and motivated, while others drain your energy and leave you feeling stuck? That's because the people around you don't just influence your thoughts, they directly affect your energy levels, motivation, and even the way you see yourself. If you are surrounded by people who complain, make excuses, and settle for less than they deserve, it becomes much harder to maintain a mindset of success. But when you are around individuals who challenge you, support you, and push you to grow, success becomes your new norm. One of the most important steps in elevating your life is evaluating your current circle. Take an honest look at the people you spend the most time with. Are they encouraging you to grow, or are they keeping you in your comfort zone? Are they inspiring you to take action, or are they reinforcing fear and doubt? Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If you want to elevate your life, you must elevate your circle. This doesn't mean you need to cut people out of your life completely, but it does mean being mindful of the energy you expose yourself to. If someone in your life constantly brings negativity, drama, or discouragement, you have to set boundaries. Protecting your mindset is not selfish. It is necessary. You don't have to engage in every conversation, agree with every limiting belief, or spend hours with people who don't align with your vision. Instead, seek out those who inspire you. The fastest way to grow is to put yourself in environments where success is the standard. If you want to get in the best shape of your life, spend time with people who prioritize health and fitness. If you want to build a successful business, surround yourself with entrepreneurs who are already achieving the results you want. If you want to develop an unstoppable mindset, find mentors, books, and communities that reinforce those beliefs. Growth happens when you expose yourself to higher standards. One of the biggest advantages of surrounding yourself with the right people is accountability. When you are on your own, it's easy to make excuses. No one is watching, so skipping a workout, procrastinating on a project, or playing it safe doesn't feel like a big deal. But when you are in a circle of high achievers, mediocrity is no longer acceptable. They will challenge you, call you out when you're slacking, and remind you of your potential. Accountability is a powerful tool because it forces you to show up even when you don't feel like it. Finding the right people requires putting yourself in the right environments. Success leaves clues, and one of the best ways to accelerate your growth is to immerse yourself in spaces where success is the norm. Attend seminars, join masterminds, participate in networking events, and engage in communities that align with your goals. Read books from great minds, listen to podcasts that expand your thinking, and follow mentors who inspire you to push your limits. The more you expose yourself to greatness, the more natural it becomes to adopt that mindset. It's also important to be the kind of person you want to attract. If you want to be around successful, driven, and growth-oriented individuals, you must embody those qualities yourself. People are drawn to energy, passion, and authenticity. If you bring value to the table, seek to uplift others, and constantly strive for growth, you will naturally attract the right people into your life. Like attracts like, and when you commit to being your best, you will find yourself surrounded by others who are doing the same. Transforming your circle is one of the most powerful changes you can make in your life. The people around you will either push you forward or hold you back. If you want to reach new heights, surround yourself with those who elevate you, challenge you, and inspire you to step into your full potential. Because when you are in the right environment, success is not just possible, it becomes inevitable. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It has the ability to create success, happiness, and fulfillment, or it can be your greatest enemy, keeping you stuck in doubt, fear, and frustration. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the results you get in life. The most successful people in the world all have one thing in common. They have mastered the ability to control their mindset. They don't let their circumstances, failures, or setbacks define them. Instead, they train their minds to see opportunities, stay resilient, and push forward no matter what. One of the biggest mistakes people make is allowing external factors to control their internal world. They let their mood be dictated by what happens to them rather than choosing how they respond. If something goes wrong, they assume the day is ruined. If they face rejection, they start doubting themselves. But here's the truth. External events don't determine your success, your reaction to them does. The most powerful shift you can make is realizing that you are in control of your thoughts. You don't have to react to every challenge with negativity. You can choose to see setbacks as lessons, failures as stepping stones, and obstacles as opportunities to grow. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you are capable, resourceful, and unstoppable, you will take actions that align with that belief. But if you believe you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not lucky enough, you will hesitate, hold yourself back, and ultimately create a life that reflects those doubts. This is why developing a strong mindset is non-negotiable. The quality of your thoughts will determine the quality of your life. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your mindset is by practicing gratitude. Most people focus on what they lack, what's going wrong, or what they haven't achieved yet. This keeps them in a state of frustration and scarcity. But when you shift your focus to what you already have, your strengths, opportunities, and past successes, you create a mindset of abundance. Gratitude rewires your brain to seek out the good in every situation. And when you train your mind to find the good, you naturally attract more of it into your life. Another key to mastering your mindset is replacing negative self-talk with empowering beliefs. Your mind is constantly running an internal dialogue, and for most people, that dialogue is filled with self-doubt, fear, and excuses. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? I don't have what it takes. These thoughts may feel automatic, but they are not facts. They are just habits of thinking that can be changed. Instead of saying, I can't, start saying, I'm learning. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what could go right. The words you tell yourself shape your reality, so choose them wisely. Your mindset is also strengthened through challenge and discomfort. Growth does not happen in your comfort zone. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who wait until they feel ready. They are the ones who take action despite fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. Every time you push yourself beyond what feels comfortable, you expand your potential. You develop mental toughness. You prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought possible, and the more you do this, the stronger your mindset becomes. One of the biggest killers of a strong mindset is comparison. Too many people waste their energy looking at what others are doing instead of focusing on their own journey. They see someone else succeeding and start doubting themselves. They think, why am I not there yet? But comparison is a trap because it shifts your focus from progress to inadequacy. The only person you need to compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. If you are improving, growing, and pushing forward, you are winning. Success is not about being the best, it's about being your best. Another key to mastering your mindset is controlling your environment. Your thoughts are influenced by what you expose yourself to. If you are constantly consuming negative news, toxic social media, and conversations filled with doubt and fear, your mindset will reflect that negativity. But if you fill your mind with powerful books, uplifting podcasts, and conversations with people who inspire you, you will naturally develop a mindset of success. Protect your mental space as fiercely as you protect your physical space. Be intentional about what you allow in because it shapes the way you think and feel. Ultimately, mindset is a choice. You can choose to see problems or you can choose to see possibility. You can choose to dwell on fear or you can choose to take action despite it. You can choose to complain about what you don't have or you can choose to be grateful for what you do have and build from there. Your thoughts create your reality. If you want to transform your life, you must first transform your mind, because once you master your mindset, everything else falls into place.